guys, today I'm putting my monthly makeup ranking for May, and I only have 12 products to review for you guys today, but I think that will be good. This video won't be too long, and I really only have one fail. I have a lot of things that I think are good, and then a couple of things that I really, really love. So starting with the one fail, it's something I don't have any longer. That would be the Huda Beauty Glow Obsessions highlighter palette in the light shade. And the formula, when you swatched it and looked at it, it had some nice pigment, but something about that formula was not creamy or powdery enough to pick up on a brush and apply it to the skin easily. I was able to see it some, but not as much as I would have expected based on the swatches, so that did end up going back. I know it's on sale right now, but I would honestly say skip it. I think you probably have other highlighter palettes or just highlighters in general that you probably would like more formula wise. And I have the One Size Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer, and this says it's an ultra blurring pore refining primer with niacinamide that mattifies and evens out skin's texture as it grips makeup for flawless application and enhanced wear. I think that I needed to use a good bit of this to feel like I covered all of my face, and that was just different for me. I feel like a lot of my other primers, especially the ones I've been using recently that are a little bit more hydrating and glowy, just a little goes a long way, but I would say not with this one. And it does give a subtle tack, which I like, because primers like the Milk Hydro Grip, I don't like them at all. It's just like too much for me, and it just doesn't work with my skin type because I still get very oily with primers like that, and then my makeup just breaks up really unevenly. But I do think this has a great amount of grip to it. I would say that this is not pore filling. I applied some all over, and then I used some more of this just right here with my large pores, and then on this side I used the Dr. Brandt Pore Refiner Primer. No pores on the Dr. Brandt side. Look like I didn't even apply it on this side, so it does create like an even smoothness, but I'm gonna play with this a few more times and I might end up decluttering this just because it is a full size. It will take me a while to get through when I have other primers that I want to use up, but I'll play with it a little bit more, but it's just fine. I'd say skip it unless you can get it as a free sample or a little mini. I have the Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. It comes in 3 shades. I have the lightest color, Opal, and this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, and it's really nice because like the Charlotte, it has a little twist mechanism where you can lock it and unlock it, which I love. I really like the little sponge because I don't prefer to use my finger, and this goes on top of my foundation really nicely. I just kind of tap, tap, tap it onto the cheeks, either blend out with my finger or a sponge. I actually like a sponge better for more of an even blend. And I don't think this goes very well over powder. And today, when I was setting my under eyes, I got a little bit, I'm guessing too much powder on top of the highlight. And you can tell I have a little bit of a white stripe here and it wasn't able to blend out. So I may be too much of a powder girl to really get into this. I'm happy that I have it. I want to play with it more. I do think that it is good. It looks natural, but still glowy. But I think overall, I'm just a powder highlight person. But I would definitely recommend checking this out. And I would love to see Flower come out with blush and contour dupes as well. The Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm in the shade Petal. I bought this because of State of Kate. And it has this really nice metal applicator to it. The texture is a little bit thick. State of Kate said it really reminds her of the original Bite Beauty agave mask. You can see that this does have some nice color to it, but as I smooth it out, you can see it does sheer out a bit. It has some nice shine to it, and this is not sticky. There is like a little thickness to it to keep it hanging on your lips. I think it's a pretty color, a really great easy product to slap on, and I really want to use it more, but I don't see this being a go-to product for me, either as a lip balm or as a colored lip product. Next at number 8 was just a little sample. This is the One Size Beauty BBB cream in the shade Fair 1 Neutral, and you would not think this was a BB cream if they didn't tell you, because it feels like a Moussey Matte Foundation. And it does give a really nice like medium to full coverage. I had previously been applying it with a sponge and I felt like it dried down too fast and I wasn't able to really blend it out. So today I tried it with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And I did not like that either. This made it look a little bit more streaky, but when I used the sponge, it felt like it was caking in my sponge, and my sponge was like on my face, which was very bizarre. Once it was on, and especially after I powdered my face, I thought my skin looked really nice, but just the process of applying it, I don't really like. So I feel like I would like to get another sample of it because I do think, I'm wearing this today, I do think it wears well. I think it looks beautiful. Basically, I feel like a lot of people that like tint moisturizers and skin tints aren't gonna like this. This feels like for a different consumer. This feels like for people who like more medium to full coverage, more matte skin. So I want to try it again. I would love your tips for applying it. And I'm unfortunately a lazy person who does not wash my sponge every single day. If I did, maybe I wouldn't feel so weird about it, but just like that, like, is odd to me. But I like the final result. It does oxidize a little bit, so it makes the color work really well for me. Like today, I think this is a very good match. And number 7 is something that was in my chopping block, and I decided to put this in my little makeup organizer in my bedroom to wear to work. I am wearing this today because I did want to create one more look with this, and this is the ColourPop Garden Variety palette. I don't know if this is available anymore. I'm sorry if it's not, but I finally am testing this out, and this is a 15 pan palette. I really like that, and I would love for ColourPop to do more of them. And I love the colors in here. I think they're so pretty. Greens, peaches, purples, neutral. So for formulas, we have one Super Shock Shadow, a lot of shimmers, a lot of mattes, but then unfortunately we have 4 of the sequin shades, which is a cute name for a stupid formula, and that would be mattes with glitter. So today I wore 3 of them. All of the transition crease shades are those, and you don't see glitter on my eyes, but it looks like satin shades, and I don't like that. I don't want there to be a sheen. I want to personally just use mattes in the crease. And honestly, the reason I hate that formula so much is because there is a powder kick up explosion in the palette. I do not mind a little kick up, but with sequin shades, it's insane, which I hate. And then you have this sequin shade here, Herbivore. This is a waste of a shadow. It is not something that you should use, I would think, to use as a transition color, or especially not to set your primer because of the freaking glitter in here. So I don't know whose skin tone that's supposed to work for. And then I'm so bummed because the other sequin shades, the actual color is beautiful. This one right here, you guys know that's my favorite type of shade, and then these 2 here. So really bummed about that. I think that the purples in here look beautiful. I love that green. I love this color a lot. This is a gorgeous brown, and I love it so much. I don't know what it is about it, but the undertone of this brown is just perfect. I use this as a transition shade a lot. I really like that Super Shock. So I do think this is a really good palette. I'm very happy to have it. I think it could be a great go-to for spring. I will use everything in here except this darkest brown, just because I don't really wear colors like that. Oh, it does have a really great matte white I use to highlight under my brow bone. Gorgeous. So just those sequin shades really bring this palette down, but I love the packaging. I love that there are 15 shades in here, and I think that the colors are just gorgeous, so I wanted to give it a little mention. And the next product I was so excited to try. This is one of the Phytosurgence Creme shadows. I have the Weathered Woods collection, but I haven't tried those yet. But while I was placing my order, I had to get Wild Wisteria. This is a beautiful purple. It has like a little bit of like a periwinkle tone to it as well. There's a little blue in there. And this is a really pretty shade. And the texture of this is so odd. It almost feels like it has like a matte satin layer on the top, or like the whole product is like that, but soft. It is very interesting. So I assumed that this was something I would need to apply with my fingers, and I did that, and I thought it was fine, but a little bit sheer. So then I tried a brush and it worked. This is just a flat synthetic brush from Alamar. Lots of brands make these, or like a little concealer brush. and it applied a lot of product to my lid. It was nice and even in color. I really liked it, and this did wear well. It didn't crease on me. I am interested in one of the more glittery shades to use as a topper because I've seen so many people use it that way. I think it's Defiant Dahlia, something like that. And I feel like Phytosurgence is like a cooler version of Glossier because it's like very bare skin with a lot of like glow and shimmer and looks so stunning. But like this one isn't packing like a super punch, but I think that makes it kind of blend into your other eyeshadows a little bit easier than something more opaque. And that's an issue that I have sometimes, is I feel like I have a hard time blending my bright lid shade into my transition crease color. So anyway, I am really liking this so far. I just use it as a base. I didn't use it on its own, but I really want to test out those other shades and see what I think of this formula more. But I do think I want that more glittery topper just because I've seen so many people create amazing looks with it. And now we have my top 5, and at number 5 we have the Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson Tiny Marvels palette. And I was only able to create a few looks with this. Unfortunately, I decided not to do my makeup declutter video this month because I only had like 2 things I was decluttering, so I'm going to save it till next month. And the shimmers in here are stunning. They're so metallic and foiled. They have a great thickness to them. I already know I love Sydney Grace shimmers, and I really like the matte formula as well. Of course, this is my favorite shade. You guys know I love a good peach, but I really liked this color as well. This shade, I did have a little bit of trouble blending it, which surprised me because I saw Amy Loves Makeup do a tutorial with this shade and it worked so well for her, and it didn't end up looking as purpley here on me, which was a little bit of a bummer. This purple shade needed a good bit of building. I liked this Tree Hopper shade. I used that a good bit with the other palette I'm about to show you, but I don't love the undertone of these browns. I feel like they need to be either cooler, more mustard, warmer. I don't know. I don't love the undertones of those browns. I feel like if they were different, they may have, in my opinion, gone better with some of these other shades, but I think the formula is fantastic and I am super happy to have this palette. Next at number 4 is something that I'm wearing on my lips today. This is a limited edition Buxom Full On Lip Cream from this ice cream collection, and the color is Strawberry White Sangria. This is so pretty, a really nice warm pink. This is not too white based because I can wear it on its own. I'm trying to pan a shade right now that is way too white based and looks insane on me, but I didn't want it to be super bright, so I paired it with this neutral nude lip liner, and I really love it. This is ColourPop BFF1, and it just goes so nicely. And then let me swatch the Buxom formula. I have so many shades of the Buxom Full On Lip Cream. The lip polish I like, but I don't really buy those anymore. The lip creams are where it's at because there's no shimmer in them and they have a little bit more color. So I'd say these are more light medium. They have a great glossy sheen as well, and those two colors just work together so nicely. And I did want to compare it to Creamsicle in case you were curious. And I actually like this shade more than Creamsicle because it's a little bit more wearable on its own for me. Creamsicle, I think I wore it with this liner, or maybe I wore it with Aquarius, which is a little pinker, but still more of like a nude lip liner. I feel like really helps this to not look so intense on me. But you can see in the packaging here, Creamsicle is more peachy, while Strawberry White Sangria has more pink in it. So sorry that the lighting changed. I held up my swatches to the camera and then the lighting like really went crazy. So I tried to turn my camera off, turn it back on, and the lighting is different, of course. But anyway, you can see Creamsicle has a lot more peach to it. It's a lot more opaque for some reason. And I just find that if I had to pick one over the other, I actually would pick this new shade, but I like them both a lot. Not necessary to have both, but I feel like you can definitely see the difference in them. But I love this formula. I love that minty scent and slight cooling feeling. I think that it gives some nice glossy shine. This is the stickiest gloss that I reach for. I really like these a lot. I have so many colors in them, so happy to see that I loved that shade just as much. Then for number 3, it is the Shroud Cosmetics and Butte Bean It's Freaking Bats palette. I know that her name is now Batty Bean, but I have the palette that says Butte Bean on it. So you have really gorgeous shades in here, 9 colors. I love the shimmers especially. I think that they're so metallic and foiled, not too thick or too wet, also not thin either, just like the perfect consistency. It definitely made me want to buy more singles from them, more shimmers. I think that the mattes are really good as well. I was just so scared about blending them, but they actually did build and blend quite nicely. And for me, they're shades that I would just feel more comfortable wearing like on the lower lash line and then doing something more neutral in the crease. But I like them a lot. I use them all except this shade because I forgot to wear it with my purple look. But I really loved all the looks I created. I really do recommend this palette, and it was a great introduction to the brand. Then at number 2, I have this Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles, and this is just the little mini size. And I love that they have this in a mini because it's gonna take me a long time to get through this, and I have other cream bronzers, and this is a great formula. This is very creamy, it's nice and pigmented, but it blends really nicely under foundation on bare skin or over top of foundation. Blending with a brush or sponge, I think it is just a really easy formula to work with. This color also works so well for me. It is not too red or too olive or too orange, just a great neutral tone that bronzes up the skin really beautifully. I am very disappointed that they seem to have discontinued their darker shade, at least from Sephora. They only had this shade as a single, which is so ridiculous, especially with all of the brands that are stepping it up in the cream bronzer category with their shade range. They did just release some limited edition duos that have a blush and a bronzer, and that comes in 2 shades, one of them being a much deeper color. But this is a great formula. I've really enjoyed this a lot, and I would say that this one and the M Cosmetics bronzer stick in summer are my most favorite, but such an easy formula to work with. And then at number 1, it's been, I haven't even a haul yet, but I really wanted to wear this with my spring makeup. And this is the Persona Super Blush in Bubble. I'm sure that this is throwing off my lighting. It is a very bright neon blue tone to where it's purpley pink, but it does not look like this on the cheeks. It is a little bit more sheer, and all of her other blushes are super pigmented. Now, that's what I had heard. So when I applied this, I was a little bit more heavy-handed, and it was not necessary. This is still pigmented. I don't think you're gonna need to layer and layer and layer it on, but it kind of adjusts to multiple skin tones, multiple undertones, and this did not look this purpley pink on me, and it was so beautiful. I even brought it in a little bit more in the cheeks, which I don't normally do. This is supposed to be the best dupe out there for the Dior Rosy Glow blush. I never would have purchased the Dior. There are so many dupes out there. I don't really like pink blushes, but when I saw that Persona release this, and especially when I saw it go to Ulta, I knew I had to have it. Gorgeous. Absolutely love this. This is going to be a wonderful spring staple. Can be really pretty in the summer as well. I would love to hear from you guys if you try this and if you like it and what your skin tone is, because I think it is so beautiful. Persona is just such an incredible brand. I can't wait to see what else they release. I'm very excited to pick up one of their cream blushes, hopefully soon. They are at Ulta now, but it's just such a phenomenal brand, and I do want to shout them out because I always tag them on Instagram, but even just me mentioning the products in my video and having the name in the description box, someone from their social media team comments on like everybody's video or most people's videos that feature the brand. And on Instagram, I don't know how they keep up with it, because you guys know I don't have a big platform for them to reply to my comment over others, and that means so much. They literally commented on a video today on my Instagram and like said my name in it, which I was like, and I don't know, I just think that is phenomenal. It really makes them stand out to me. And of course, just them having amazing products, really beautiful, simple packaging. Love, love, love. So guys, those are all of the new products I tested out this month. Not as many, but this was a shorter month for me. I'm really trying to catch up with filming, and I did cut a couple videos just to try to get me back on track. But I am pretty pleased with the things that I try. Even for the things that I'm not super in love with, I will play with them more. The only thing I see myself possibly decluttering would be the primer, but like I said, I will try this a little bit more. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you have tried these products, and I would love to know new things you have tested recently and what your thoughts were on them. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.